It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 274, Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, and he is co-host of Couch and the Rube weekdays from 10 to noon on the Spotlight Radio Network. How are you, Graham?
Any night that I'm sitting next to Rico Beard is an honor for me, so tonight is one of those evenings.
Don't know what he paid you to say that, but you're easily pleased.
Hopefully you learn something tonight.
When do you head to the Red Box Bowl?
Not till the day before, December 30th. One of those years. Not a huge game necessarily in terms of the LSJ build-up, so we're headed out the day before.
Why?
You won't be interviewing camels or anything out at this game?
No, not like the game 5 years ago. That was a lot of fun. Well, it's my job, right? That's why you go to these games.
I guess.
You went to the game last year, the Holiday Bowl. Wasn't that much bigger.
It was San Diego. They scored points, and it was
fun. San Francisco's pretty cool, too. But you get to stick around long enough to see Mark Montgomery. I know you love to see MAC teams.
I do, and I'm doing a piece on Mark just before the game, and I've done some stuff on him before, so it's kind of a fun game to see and see where that program is. Also
want to welcome Rico Beard, longtime Detroit radio and TV personality, Specs Howard broadcast instructor, recruiting insider, and he is the host of the Spartan Beat weekdays from noon to 2. How are you, Rico?
I'm good, Jack. You know, I do the prop bets on my show, so I'm thinking maybe doing a prop bet of Michigan State touchdowns versus Marcus Bingham points against, Northern Illinois.
I got you.
Yeah, they don't score, so no, that's why I'm not going.
I would take Bingham, actually.
Right, Marcus Bingham points versus MSU touchdowns.
Yeah. Also want to welcome Doug Warren. He is Director of Sports Programming for the Spotlight Radio Network. He is producer of The Drive with Jack and Tom, weekdays from 3 to 6, and host of Lions Today, weekdays from 2 to 3. One game to go, Doug.
Yeah, it wasn't the Lions' day today, unless you like tanking, which I thought the Vikings had a great performance and got the win. The Lions are just that much closer to a top pick. But yeah, somebody's got to talk about this future team, and I do it every day, Monday through Friday.
Lions got off to that 9-0 lead. It looked like, hey, maybe, just maybe, and then Kirk Cousins shifted into gear, and the Vikings showed that they were a superior team.
Yep.
Not every team in the NFC North is into tanking. I see Green Bay decided it was going to play it out today. They were about a half game ahead of the Lions, and they came back with a big overtime win over the Jets.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for the Packers next week, Jack.
We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk Michigan State basketball. We'll talk college basketball in general. #1 team in the nation went down. We'll also talk college football and recruiting. We have a very special guest for you. Sam Vincent, former Michigan State and Lansing legend, will be with us a little bit later in the show. When we get back, our Going Green segment, talking Michigan State basketball. It's Press Pass here on Fox 47.
Welcome to Russell & Schrader Insurance.
Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They are hard to beat. Call Dylan Bond today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual and Russell & Schrader Insurance will protect your best assets.
Thinking about moving? Make your next house a home with a mortgage from MSU Federal Credit Union. Apply for your mortgage loan today by calling or stopping in. You can also apply online. MSU FCU, building dreams together.
If you're not well, but it's not an emergency, choose Sparrow Fast Care for things like infections, the flu, allergies, even the common cold.
But if you need x-rays, stitches, or to mend some broken bones, then choose Sparrow Urgent Care.
From Lansing, DeWitt to Okemos
to East Lansing, Mason, and Grand Ledge, and now open on Michigan Avenue in Lansing.
Walk in or check in online at sparrowcares.org. Sparrow Fast Care
and Sparrow Urgent Care.
Healthcare at the speed of life.
Catch the savings at Capital Honda. New 2018 Honda Accord LX, just $249 a month. Or new 2018 Honda Civic LX, only $169 a month. Just like your favorite team does it, we're going all out because you should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda.
We're clearing out our warehouse. Everything must be sold before year-end inventory. Winter installation? No problem. American Metal Roofs year-end warehouse clearance. Call 844-METAL-ROOFs or visit AmericanMetalRoofs.com.
Gotham, the final season begins Thursday, January 3rd on Fox.
Team spirit. Face paint. more cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graff Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Double your trade up to $5,000 in GM employee pricing through the end of the month. Go green, go Graff.
You know, we have 27 assists on 38 baskets. You know, you're really sharing the ball. The ball was moving. I don't have many complaints offensively. I thought we 7 turnovers and we had 2 at the end. It seemed like we got tomahawked, and but a good job there. You know,
our game plan was to we play fast, and we didn't want to play fast. We wanted to walk the ball off the floor, which we did, and that kept us from getting transition threes today, because one of the staples of our offense is transition threes, because I have so many guys that can shoot the ball so well.
Michigan State coach Tom Izzo and Oakland University's Greg Kampe after the Spartans' 99-69 win Friday night. Graham Couch, this was the 17th win in as many tries for Izzo against Kampe. What did we learn?
Well, not a ton, other than this isn't a vintage Oakland team, and I think we knew that coming in. They don't have the high major transfers or that. But from Michigan State's perspective, I think a couple things. If you don't defend this team, if you're not willing to get up into them and check their guards, they will pick you apart, and more specifically Cassius Winston. And we are seeing him take his game to a certain place that I am really curious to see how it translates into the Big Ten season right now.
Rico, Kampe had said that Michigan State was the gold standard of college basketball and predicted Michigan State would win the league this year. But he was talking about this being the fastest team he'd ever seen. He was talking about that after the game. What was he talking about?
Transition baskets. I mean, they had 47 fast break points. And, you know, some teams don't score 47 points in a game.
Right.
Meaning that Michigan State doesn't take a break. Every possession, they're trying to push the ball up the court. If they get the rebound, they're taking it, they're trying to score. If you hit a shot and you're posing to the crowd and throwing up the 3 fingers, they're down, score. So you always, I mean, there were times where, you know, as soon as Oakland would shoot, they just sent all 5 guys back trying to stop that. So Michigan State really trying to run, and as Graham said, it's really working. Their transition game is working between Cassius Winston, Matt McQuaid, Kyle Ahrens. They're hitting threes. They're going down low to Nick Ward.
Well, they force you to make a choice. Either you're going to go in and rebound with them, or you're going to get 3-4 guys back right away. Rico, you talked about the freshmen. You asked about that again after the game. What does it say that in this heralded incoming class, none of these guys are in the top 7? It's the kind of experience this Michigan State team has.
It is. They're really, I guess, front-loaded for the first time. I mean, we were used to Miles and those guys coming in playing as true freshmen, and we kind of think that, okay, these guys aren't that good. Well, no, they are top 50 recruits. You just don't have a place for them right now. It's a good problem to have, Jack, because you don't expect everything right now. They could actually learn, you know? They could just do that thing and mature.
I still think by the time this is all said and done, this could wind up being one of the best classes he ever has, just because these guys are mostly going to be 4-year guys, unless something happens with, you know, Marcus Bingham's body and he winds up being. But if you get these guys for 4 years, you think about that senior day, and we've talked about this a little bit, it could be an incredible group down the road.
And we talked about one of these guys, didn't know which one, was going to come in and have to play major minutes. We didn't know what Kenny Goins was going to do. And he's been terrific for them for the most part. Doug, Michigan State has 1 game left this year. Northern Illinois, coached by Izzo disciple Mark Montgomery. That game is next Saturday. Are the Spartans ready? They lead the Big Ten in scoring, rebounding, assists, block shots. Are they set to repeat as Big Ten champions?
Yeah, I think so. Everything's stacking up for that. The other guy you mentioned that wasn't with them last year because of injury is Kyle Arns. He's contributing in a big way, and he's got the ability to hit shots and do all the junkyard dog type of things that the great Izzo teams have had in the past. So I think, yeah, certainly they're poised to win another Big Ten title. Of course, for them, it's always beyond that. How good are they going to be come tournament time?
Well, and the other thing is it's a loaded Big Ten.
Yeah.
And it's a Big Ten. When I mean that, not just at the top in terms of 3 or 4 teams that can win it, but there are a lot of teams 7, 8, 9, 10 that are going to get you on the road on a given night. And so I think the champion may have 4 or 5 losses this year.
Rico, what does Tom Izzo want for Christmas, basketball-wise, besides a win over Duke?
You know what? I think basketball-wise this year, he wants to go back to the Final Four. Yeah. He needs that because it used to be every 4-year player at Michigan State would go to the Final Four. This is that year. This is that year, especially with 3 early season knockout. I mean, the last 3 years, first weekend, he needs to get back to the Final Four. Not necessarily win it, but get back to the Final Four.
Graham, have you seen enough to say that Michigan State is a favorite in the Big Ten?
No, I wouldn't call them the favorite. I would say Michigan is
still the favorite.
I want to see what Cassius Winston does, when Xavier Simpson is up into him. I think there's a couple matchups that you want to see but they've shown enough now to think they've got a shot.
What about Penn State? They played a lot of road games. That doesn't, no? Okay.
Well, if you play enough road games, you can get ranked. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Michigan State, 1 game to go, as we said, next Saturday, and then they'll have a little break, and Tom Izzo's got some practice time. That's perfect. We're going to talk about college basketball and one of the strangest finishes you will ever see, especially if you were a bettor. And we'll talk about Michigan's win over Air Force and Arizona State with the upset of #1 Kansas up next.
Just announced. Get GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at every Graf dealership. This is your last chance to get the car, truck, or SUV you want at the best price of the year. Plus, Graf will double the value of your trade up to $5,000. Combine those offers and choose from these 5 vehicles for $145 a month or less. Don't miss out. Double the value of your trade up to $5,000 and get just announced GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at a Graf dealership near you.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Ride with Chicago PD, weekdays at noon on My 47.4.
With the David Chapman Agency, auto owners insurance policies come with something extra. Local agents who care about you. Our agents will help you find the right coverage at the best price. 3 generations serving you at the David Chapman Agency, your local auto owners insurance agents.
Hi, I'm Realtor Brock Fletcher from the selling team with Keller Williams. Mid-Michigan homeowners who sell their homes with us get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their home in an average of 28 days. Call us today at 517-853-6408.
There's something out there for you and me, and the American road is calling, so what's it gonna be? Hey, it's an amazing day, traveling our own highway. No matter where it leads us, we can smile, 'cause there's meaning in the miles.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were in August for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
And now Dambrot gets teed up. I can't believe they teed him. And now
continues to show his displeasure.
I can't believe.
In a tie game, down the stretch, time is run off the clock, but clearly that foul coming with 5 seconds left, and Keith Dambrot is hot.
Hey, threw him out now.
And now second technical, he'll be gone.
He's got to take it easy.
That could be the understatement of the year. He's got to take it easy. There you see Lansing's Charles Thomas, one of the people trying to restrain Keith Dambrot, Duquesne coach. Graham, you know a little bit about the way this works. Can you imagine you have Duquesne plus 5.5 points. The game is tied with 5.2 seconds left. You're on defense. And 2 bad calls, one push-off that was missed, another block charge call that probably went the wrong way. 2 free throws there, 4 more for the technicals. Penn State hits all 6, you lose by half a point. Could there be a worse beat than that in college basketball?
You're always nervous in that situation because overtime is like the underdog's nightmare anyway. If it's tied and it goes on, then you couldn't lose by 6. But yeah, certainly the way it goes down with that amount of time left. And I've covered Keith Dambrot when he was at Akron for years. And actually both Charles and Carl are on that Duquesne staff now. That was one of the more extraordinary meltdowns by a coach. You got to let your team have a chance. You would have the ball with a chance to tie or win, but I understand. Look, we all lose our composure.
No, but I think that is one of those where you look at it and you say, "That's Duquesne. Shut up, be quiet, let me referee the game." Because if that was if that was Izzo or Coach K, they're not getting 2 technicals with the game tied at 67. They're not. They would sit there and say, "Tom, no more." But they would have said, right. Coach K, not hearing anymore.
Right. He was so far out of the coach's box. I mean, if you want to call that. But I called Nick Bogdanovich, Doug, from William Hill, U.S. I said, where does that rank? And he said, right at the top.
Yeah, he was like in the other coach's box, at least at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So all the way down the other end of the court.
Rico, the Michigan Wolverines did not cover their spread as 24.5-point favorites, but they did beat Air Force by 21 points. Are you prepared to say that the Wolverines should be the Big Ten favorites and a legitimate contender for the national championship?
They're the Big Ten favorites as of right now, but I looked at the Wolverines, and it's kind of their own stubbornness where Beeline's just rolling with 7 guys, and they played in the summer. So this team right now is in mid-season form. I just wonder if they're going to run out of gas, a lot like what happened to Purdue last year in the Big Ten, what happened to Oklahoma nationally. Those were 2 teams that in December looked unbeatable. Yeah. But then February kicked in, and they just kind of limped their way into March. For the Wolverines, only going 7 deep, they can't afford an injury, and you got to get those Brandon Johns or David Julius into that line of your Beeline.
Well, and you remember the Michigan State team that went overseas with Denzel Valentine's senior year was as good as they ever were in December and November. And sometimes those teams do peak early.
That was even something that Judd worried about with Urban when they went to Russia. They had to play Brazil. They had the Brazil tournament, and then back against Russia. It was a long season. Doug, 2 days before the Michigan State-Arizona State football game, I had a chance to interview Bobby Hurley for the Drive with Jack and Tom, and he was talking about the win last year Arizona State had, Fog Allen Fieldhouse at Kansas, and a chance to get them back in Tempe. They beat them again. They beat the #1 ranked Jayhawks in Wells Fargo Arena.
Yeah, they beat them by 10 last year, and then a big win the other day. It's just a testament to Hurley. His coaching, his mental toughness rubs off on his own team. Now, last year in the tournament, they had a disappointing tournament because they lost in the first 4 to Syracuse, who we saw win against Michigan State as well. Tough matchup, but good win for them.
Shows what happened when you go on the road, Graham. It happens all the time.
Road games, first road game for Kansas.
We'll be right back talking college football up next.
I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
The Holton Dimondale Insurance Agency. Call your hometown team today.
Congratulations, Carrie Macchio, the Michigan Lottery's 2018 Educator of the Year.
Take time today to nominate an outstanding public educator for an Excellence in Education Award. They could win a $10,000 prize from the Michigan Lottery.
Oregon, Michigan State, the Red Box Bowl, New Year's Eve on Fox.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Happy Holidays from Fox 47. Check out our Happy Holidays section for the best holiday music, sponsored by Marshall Music. And the top choices for gifts under $100, sponsored by Epicenter of Worship. For more, go to fox47news.com/holidays.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for another Big Picture segment brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
I do believe that from an offensive line perspective, this may be the best class we've ever signed in my 12 years here. I think you see the quality of the players up there. If you want to include J.D. Duplain in that, who could play, certainly could play over there, no question. I don't think without question it's the best offensive line class that we've signed. Justin Lane has left the football team, so obviously he won't be playing in the bowl game, and everybody else is still with the team, so I imagine they're playing. And everybody these days have a different philosophy on how these things are working out. My philosophy is you finish the season, that includes bowl games or playoff games, and other people feel differently. Doesn't mean that I'm right or they're wrong. It's just a difference of philosophy.
Michigan State head coach Mark D'Antonio is recruiting day press conference. Every Big Ten coach except one had one of those. Graham Couch, what's your take on this Michigan State incoming class for 2019 and D'Antonio's comments about Justin Lane's departure, and I guess the news that L.J. Scott definitely will be back for the bowl game and Raekwon Williams will be back next season?
Well, it's a quintessential Mark D'Antonio class, right? You can't really tell now. Yeah. His best classes look eerily similar to his worst classes often on signing day. You can see the priority with 4 or 5 offensive linemen, depending on what they do with Duplain, and that's I think a big deal right now in the program, because they need to fix that. Yeah. They need to fix that next year. They need to fix that in the coming years. As for Justin Lane, I mean, I'm one who disagrees with Mark D'Antonio on this. I think he says you need to finish. Well, when he left Cincinnati, he didn't finish and play in or coach the International Bowl. I think it's a little hypocritical for coaches. I get why he feels that way. I like that he said he understands other people feel differently and they're not right or wrong. I think that LJ Scott's playing in the bowl game is great for LJ. I hope he's healthy and gets to prove himself. And the Raekwon Williams news, though, I think is the biggest news of all, because that's your guy in the middle next year. Yeah. And that, for a defense,
he and Panashuk and Willikis, that's 3/4 of the best
needs
line.
Could be a special group.
But I agree with you with Justin Lane. It just comes across as a little bit elitist, because if Lane goes down, he's not going to go out there and say, hey, you know what, here's my paycheck for the year. You can have the millions of dollars that I made because you risked it all for me. I mean, Justin Lane is now about Justin Lane Enterprises. He's got to look out for himself, just like D'Antonio and the staff has to look out for them.
Rico, you know more about recruiting than anyone else on this panel. What do you make of this class? Did they address some of the needs with this program?
It's like what Graham said. You don't really know with D'Antonio, because just when you think, oh my God, who are these guys? Years later, you're talking about, Kenny Willikis, walk-on first-team All-American. So They did address the offensive line. That's been a problem. They brought in 6 guys. I think 4 of them will probably stay on the offensive line. 2 will go over to defense. But, that's the big thing. You got to win the war, the battle in the trenches. They're probably still looking at adding a couple of defensive linemen in the late signing day. But for now, they addressed the offensive line. That was the biggest concern.
Is there a 3-star that you really like as you look at this video or you've seen play?
A 3-star? Yeah, I do. I got to go with West Bloomfield, Trey Mosley. Okay. I think he's probably going to be the guy who plays first. He's going to give the biggest impact as a freshman, as a wide receiver. Ron Bellamy, his coach, said he's the best wide receiver he has coached since he's been in high school.
We talked to Alante Brown of Chicago Simeon, electric player. He's a Keyshawn Martin type. Some people say he's a poor man's Antoine Randall L., and he still plans to be part of this group as well. Rico, Michigan had the highest rated class in the Big Ten, at least thus far. Ohio State has a lot more spots to fill yet. Number 8 in the country. Is this the class that can finally get Michigan to Indianapolis?
You notice in a pattern here? I get all the Michigan. Tom's not here. I get all the Michigan
You're
questions.
the Michigan guy tonight.
No. I'm from Missouri. You got to show me. You got to do it on the field. They had Jabril Peppers. They had Rashawn Gary, the top picks. They had these top players, the top recruits come in.
Daxton Hill.
Right. So
5-star safety.
Hey, you know what?
Reflip from Alabama.
And how many titles did Rashawn Gary and Jabril Peppers get combined? The same as I have. None. So until they do it, I can't give you credit because you look good on paper.
No, but I think he's right about something. In the Michigan State battle of words, I don't think either side should be speaking much, because Michigan State, you don't know if you have a 2010 or 11 class, which were just phenomenal, or a 12-13 class. And if you're Michigan, you haven't won a Big Ten title since 2004. It just hasn't meant anything yet.
It's their Super Bowl. They wheel out the trophy on recruiting day.
Doug Warren, let's take a look at the Big Ten's 9 bowl matchups coming up here. Which game are you most excited to see, and which team will be more excited to play, the Spartans or the Wolverines?
Well, the game I'm excited to see is the Peach Bowl. I want to see if Harbaugh can keep these guys motivated despite all the departures, the distractions, the circus that he brings unnecessarily in many ways to the table for that team. And I want to see if Dan Mullen can outcoach him with, on paper, an understaffed Florida team. I think Michigan State's going to be more focused. Their whole season's been somewhat of a disappointment, but they've managed to hold everything together, and I think they want to end on a good note against a Oregon team that finished in the top 10 recruiting rankings.
2 wins, 2 losses, or a split, Graham?
2 wins.
2 losses.
2 losses. Send that figure. We'll be right back with more. Sam Vincent up next.
Just announced. Get GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at every Graf dealership. This is your last chance to get the car, truck, or SUV you want at the best price of the year. Plus, Graf will double the value of your trade up to $5,000. Combine those offers and choose from these 5 vehicles for $145 a month or less. Don't miss out. Double the value of your trade up to $5,000 and get just announced GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at a Graf dealership near you.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
My name is Amy Belafonte. I didn't used to believe in monsters, but I do now.
Oh my God. How is this possible?
The only thing that matters is that you're safe.
Let's go. Stay right behind me.
You could help us save millions. You might be the most important little girl in the world.
The Passage, coming this January to Fox. Catch Dateline weeknights at 11 on My 47.4.
More than half of all hearing-impaired persons are younger than 65. Recognizing hearing loss is the first step towards treatment and improving your quality of life. At Audiology and Hearing Services, we offer hearing aids that can connect with cell phones and other wireless devices. Audiology and Hearing Services offers a variety of cosmetically appealing hearing aids in various sizes. Come into Audiology and Hearing Services today to take your first step towards a better quality of life.
Christmas at Jackson Delight. Santa awaits you each weekend night. We're open weekends from 4 until 8. Come see us before Santa leaves on his sleigh. For more information, visit thetownofchristmas.com.
You should go to A&J Transmission and Auto Repair. They fix everything.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. The Woody's items are now available at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, and other local grocers.
Three-man rush. Cousins on the last play of regulation. Chucks it to the end zone. Caught! Michigan State's caught it!
Can the receivers get far enough down the field?
Rodgers in trouble.
It's going to get there.
He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him?
In the end zone, it is caught for the win.
He's 6'4". Cousins is trying to get it to the end zone. The Hail Mary from Cousins. It's caught! It's Kyle Rudolph for the Viking touchdown!
The Hail Mary is not supposed to be a high percentage play, but there you see Kirk Cousins in 2010 against Wisconsin, Aaron Rodgers in 2015 against the Lions. So when you have Kirk Cousins against the Lions in 2018, Doug Warren, could it be anything but a completion?
No, practice makes perfect. He's had a lot of practice over the years, right?
Wasn't that pitch back and forth there?
No.
It wasn't that?
No,
okay.
no, I don't know what the hell teams do defensively. In the Lions' case, it's two different coaching staffs. You got guys standing in the back of the end zone, and the ball's going to the front of the end zone,
yeah.
And Kyle Rudolph standing there he's standing with a bunch of kindergartners. He just reaches up and catches it. I mean, it's like me with my son's 4th grade class. It would be easy. I mean, what are they doing? I don't get it.
Why do some guys, like Aaron Rodgers, have such proficiency at throwing that pass? And some defenses, it looks like they've never seen a play before.
I don't know. The guys, they lose track of the ball. I don't know. I don't know how it is. You could do a whole story on that, like The Athletic could do something on the anatomy of a Hail Mary and talk to both sides. But I think in the quarterback's case, these guys practice this play. And they practice it from the time they're kids. You know, you play the 500 game when you're a kid, you throw the ball up and everybody tries to catch it. I don't know. I think it's an easier play to execute offensively than defensively, obviously, because sometimes all the defensive guys are doing, it looks like they all have handcuffs on.
Cousins threw it 60 yards, and the Lions only had one guy who left his feet.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure. Lions slogged their way to a 9-0 lead, and then the Vikings exerted their superiority. What did we learn today?
Well, we learned the Lions are horrible. The Vikings are a better football team. Look, Matt Patricia's in over his head. I've had enough of this guy. He's not going to get fired. If Bob Quinn wanted to state the case that he's in control of this football team, he'd admit he'd made a mistake and he'd get rid of this guy and bring somebody else in. It's not going to happen, though. So in all likelihood, in a year or two, these two guys will be fired together because Matt Patricia is the anchor around Bob Quinn's neck. And that's just the way I see it right now. This guy's the second coming of Marty Morningwig, but he's on the defensive side of the ball. It's ridiculous. The team, as much as I'm in favor of tanking, this team quit on him today, and that's an indictment of the coaching staff when your team just is out to lunch for the second half.
Well, since I'm going to chime in because I stopped caring, I was on my phone.
Yeah.
Why in the world do you play Stafford? I know the reason why, because of the streak. I would have showed him how meaningless the streak was and says, okay, Stafford, one play, and then I'm yanking you out.
Well, again,
because that's malfeasance to stick him out there.
And then they pull him out with like 4.5 minutes to go. He's not hurt. Not any more hurt than he was the last month.
Yeah.
Well, what are they doing? I mean, it's like they have no idea what they're doing. And today when they benched him, or put Castle in. Why didn't you do that 6 weeks ago when your season was over anyway?
I'm just amazed you still have passion for this team. I'm
Somebody's got to.
Graham, who lasts longer, Bob Quinn or Matt Patricia, or are they on the same train out of town?
No, I think Quinn will. Everybody gets one guy of their own to fire. I think he might get one more mistake to make, but you don't get another one of those. And I think he really needs Patricia to work out. I'm not done on Patricia yet, but early returns aren't great.
Doug, I could hear you cheering with your "thank you very much" philosophy.
Yeah, get his shirts made, yeah.
But if the Lions are successful in losing next week at Green Bay, who is likely to be wearing Honolulu blue and silver next season?
It depends on where they go. I'd like to see Greedy Williams, the LSU defensive back. Rico doesn't like him for some reason. We want to.
I like Greedy.
But if you look at the teams right now, they're in a group in fifth, but they would be picking fifth if the season ended today.
They need to pick defense, whoever the hell it is.
No,
best defensive player they can get. No,
I say, and they will never do it. Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, hit the button, go forward. Stafford's not getting any better. You know what he is.
I'm not arguing with that anymore either.
Get Haskins in. Stafford, you got 1 year. We'll trade you after that year. Hit the reset button.
I think it's more likely the Lions are going to try to get some defensive help and
They'll
take a quarterback
well, they're the Lions, so.
There's some other quarterbacks who will be there. They don't think this is a great draft for quarterbacks anyway. So see how
you don't want to force it with a quarterback. I'm not even sold on Haskins yet. I don't know that this is as you said, not a great draft for quarterbacks. Give it another shot with Stafford. We've seen him look great in the last few years.
You know who's sold on Dwayne Haskins? Don Brown. And I think Northwestern is too. We'll be right back.
Precision Roofing Services has been serving Greater Lansing with high-quality residential and commercial roofing services for over 20 years. Our staff is fully licensed, insured, and willing to do whatever's necessary to get the project done right. Precision Roofing is a complete exterior improvement company, providing roof repair and replacement, metal and asphalt roofing, commercial roofing, window installation, and more. Receive free gutters with your new roof or re-roof until the end of the year. Your home today is our reputation tomorrow.
Think about the number of people your child crosses paths with over a course of a single school day. Their bus driver, librarians, cafeteria workers, and yes, their teachers. Ordinary people going above and beyond to help children. Each week, the Michigan Lottery selects an outstanding public school educator to receive the Excellence in Education Award. Watch Fox 47 News at 6:30 on Tuesday to find out this week's winner.
Weeknights at 6 and 7 on Fox 47.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Cowboys.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Lansing's Best segment, brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority, bringing thousands of athletes and teams to Mid-Michigan for dozens of tournaments and special events. Hats off to the GLSA for showing just what Mid-Michigan can be.
Here's the man who's provided one of the missing links for the Bulls, Sam Vincent.
Look at this frenzied full court pressure. Vincent breaks it, has Jordan on the wing. The lob, the jam! And the foul.
And that was great communication between the two players. Michael gave a look to Sam to tell him to throw the lob. There goes the lob. There goes Michael. There's the foul. And Michael has to hold on so he doesn't get undercut. And gets Patrick Ewing right in the head. Now watch it again. The communication came. Michael gave the signal. Sam saw it. Sam threw it. Michael finished it off.
We are very happy to be joined by an old friend, almost 40 years, James Samuel Vincent. He was the state of Michigan's first Mr. Basketball, state champion at Lansing Eastern, 4-year starter at Michigan State, Big Ten scoring champ, All-American, a pro, played with Larry Bird, won a championship with the Celtics. You just saw him with Michael Jordan and Irvin Johnson, his brother Jay. That background goes back to his childhood. Welcome home.
Thank you very much, Jack. Always a pleasure to be home.
Of all the things that you have accomplished, on and off the court, what are you most proud?
What am I most proud of? Man, it would just have to be the opportunity to play professional basketball. You know, starting here in Lansing, Michigan, and you know, really kind of idolizing Jay and Irvin during those incredible heated competitions, Lansing Everett versus Lansing Eastern. Sitting up in the stands, those were my guys.
Yeah.
And to have the chance to follow them as players and then eventually get to the NBA has just been pretty fantastic.
You have been a coach at the highest levels, the Olympics, the NBA. What did you learn from Paul Cook and Judd Heathcote?
Man, Judd Heathcote and Paul Cook, discipline. Those two guys were two of the early staples around really enforcing the importance of discipline on the court, your approach to the game, how you played during the game. It was one of their biggest staples.
You were heading into your junior year at Michigan State when Judd finally gave in and hired a bottom-rung assistant, some guy named Izzo. And think about 36 years now at Michigan State for him. When you think about the first time you saw him, when he was a first and second year assistant, did you ever imagine he could have this kind of success?
You know, Coach Izzo was an early student of the game in working with that team my junior year. It was pretty obvious that he was going to become someone that was very, very connected, both defensively and offensively, because he had a deep understanding and knowledge of those skills of the game. Whether or not I knew he would have the success that he's had, nobody knew that. But big congratulations to Coach Izzo. He's been fantastic for the MSU program.
Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. I don't know that anyone has had the experiences with all three that you have, and now you're working on a book. Welcome to the club.
Hey, well, thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate that. I feel like there's so many stories growing up here in Lansing and being around Irvin before he was Magic.
Right.
But seeing his passion around the game and his approach and how hard he worked to become the player that he became. Getting drafted to the Boston Celtics, you know, after being an incredible Michigan State fan, and leaving, and then, of course, Michael, and having a chance to play with the Bulls. Three incredible players and just some great stories to talk about.
One of the questions I get a lot, Sam, is when people are in Breslin Center and they look up and they see all the numbers up there, who's missing? And I say, well, there are two numbers that are missing. Number one on my list is Mike Robinson. You remember him, and he was an incredible player, averaged almost 25 points a game in his career, 3 more than Sean Respert, who's a Big Ten's all-time leading scorer. And number two is you. So what do we have to do about that?
You've got to sign this affidavit that I have, and it starts to move this process. No, honestly, it's not something that I really think about or worry about. My time at
Michigan. Two Vincents up there, though, right?
It would be fantastic, and congratulations to Jay. I'm happy that he's already there. But the time at Michigan State was fantastic. You know, great and fond memories. And if it happens one day, fantastic. But nothing that I really worry about.
Speaking of the family, you know, I remember that night at Purdue when I was leaving the arena and I heard this Boilermaker fan says, "Oh man, I'm so sick of that Vincent. The guy's been here 8 years." 4 for Jay, 4 for you. It just seemed that way, but. Congratulations to the Vincent family and your mom, Ella, just celebrating her 89th birthday. She's the Big Ten's most valuable mom, no question.
Well, if you're giving her that award, Jack, I really appreciate it. I think she shares a birthday on the same date as yours, so great to be home and have a chance to celebrate with her. It was a fantastic opportunity to be with her.
Well, when can we expect the book? We're going to do more on this as you get ready to publish, right?
Man, I would love to believe I could have this book ready for summer. My planned release date is in June. I want to try to time it along the NBA playoffs. Maybe I can get out to the Celtics and get in one of the arenas, but it's definitely going to happen.
Sounds perfect. We'll be right back with more coming up here on Press Pass.
At the town of Christmas, a Jackson delight, Santa awaits you each weekend night. In Santa's village, there's gingerbread friends, singing reindeer as well. That's not where fun ends. Walk through the North Pole, take pictures too. All that you want, they're included for you. The Toy Factory has elves, snowmen, and more. Don't forget to leave with a gift from our store. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 4 until 8. Come see us before Santa leaves on his sleigh.
Johnson's Workbench is where the traditions of the holidays and craftsmanship meet. With great products by SawStop and Festool, the finest at hardwood lumber and cabinet-grade plywood, and full-service machining on site. Johnson's Workbench clearly has everything for the woodworker.
40% of seniors will end up in a nursing home. Get a plan for who will help manage your assets and health care so court doesn't do it for you. Call Crenshaw Peterson today. We protect you, your family, and your wallet.
Here we go.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Working with the IDE company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the IDE company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the IDE company family.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank. Dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
Listen, come sit down real quick. You made 3 of the biggest plays of the game. You want me to tell you what they were? And you get too down on yourself for no reason. You made 3 of the biggest plays of the game. You got the offensive rebound, right? Down 4, you got the offensive rebound, got the tip in, right? And then you had the outlet pass to Owen when he got the and 1. And then you made the last swing to him for the game winner. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're missing shots or making shots, don't worry about it, kid. You played a hell of a game. You ain't got to worry about making shots or missing shots. All right? Good job. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man. All right, go with your team. Bye. Good job.
LeBron James with some counseling to a very sad son on the sideline. Kind of thing that you don't normally have access to. All right, Team 274. What's the most important part of athletic parenting? We're going to give a little Christmas gift to all the parents out there. Rico, what's the biggest mistake you have seen with parents of young athletes?
Just one. Give me as much time as I can have. Let me cram it in. One, do not live through your kid. Let them do their thing. Don't try to relive your Al Bundy days through your son or your daughter. The other thing, realize your son or daughter's potential. Not everybody's going to play for Duke or Alabama. You know, you can get, if you get a full ride to Toledo, that still is a full ride to Toledo. And they're like, oh, well, they're going to go to the top
Most
schools.
players don't come anywhere close to a full ride from Toledo.
Sometimes you just have to realize your kid's not that good. Go ahead.
You know what? And you can be pretty good, have a good high school career, have a great experience in athletics, and never hear from a college scout.
Yeah.
Doug Warren, we're the only two who have been dads on this panel.
Yeah, that we know of.
Yeah, we know of. And your son is playing now for Hazlitt High School.
Yeah, yeah.
What can we take to the bank about what young people do and don't need from their dads?
Well, just being there for your kid as much as possible. And some parents can't because of scheduling and work, whatever. But just being there and making sure that they understand that maybe they're not going to be the best player on the team. If they have an issue, don't come through me to do it. You need to go talk to your coach. And being part of a team, teaching them the importance of being part of something bigger than themselves, greater than the individual. You can learn things from being just part of a team, being part of practice, games, that type of stuff, and you know the values of winning and losing as part of something bigger than yourselves. That's kind of what we try to do.
Have you ever been in a situation like LeBron was there, where you had to take Jared aside and maybe he was depressed about the way things were going? Bump him up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to do that all the time with your kids, and not only with sports, but in life. I mean, that's part of being a parent.
Can I add one quick thing, too? Here's another piece, some more advice. If your son or daughter's not playing, the coach doesn't hate them. They just may not be that good, and the other people are. So, as you said, Doug, if your kid's not playing, you know how many phone calls I get where the coaching staff hates my kid and they like this other kid over. I'm like, dude, do you really think that they're going to sit there they're going to sit cashes for your kid?
If the coach isn't playing your kid when he's in 4th grade, then you've got an issue. Otherwise, Graham, your father-in-law is here, but a parent can be a coach's best friend or a worst enemy very quickly. What kind of Christmas advice can we give parents?
Support, but also reality as they get older. Let them know what, you know, if you really want to be serious about a sport, you got to take it seriously. You know, you can't, not everything's just going to be given to you like it once was.
And don't decide when you're 12 what you're going to do the rest of your life. We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth segment brought to you by Culver's up next.
Just announced. Get GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at every Graf dealership. This is your last chance to get the car, truck, or SUV you want at the best price of the year. Plus, Graf will double the value of your trade up to $5,000. Combine those offers and choose from these 5 vehicles for $145 a month or less. Don't miss out. Double the value of your trade up to $5,000 and get just announced GM employee pricing for everyone. Now at a Graf dealership near you.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
Think about the number of people your child crosses paths with over a course of a single school day. Their bus driver, librarians, cafeteria workers, and yes, their teachers. Ordinary people going above and beyond to help children. Each week, the Michigan Lottery selects an outstanding public school educator to receive the Excellence in Education Award.
Watch Fox 47 News at 6:30 on Tuesday to find out this week's winner.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment Brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. And you see Cassius Winston after the game Friday night, and this is the kind of thing he does and a lot of the Michigan State players do, and I kind of like that better than what I see on the court. And there's Cassius making this young girl's Christmas. All right, Team 274, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion. Doug Warren, let's start with you on our play of the week.
Play of the week, you got to give it to Kirk Cousins today at Ford Field. The Hail Mary to Kyle Rudolph. The Lions standing around like a bunch of Christmas elves, all tuckered out from building presents. The Vikings get the boost they need. They dominate in the second half and get the victory, and the Lions are that much closer to a top 5 pick in next April's draft.
That's the play. All right, Graham Couch, what about our game of the week?
Game of the week happened in Tempe, Arizona, where Kansas falls in their 80-76.
You double jointed. You about to pat yourself on the back.
I am. I'm just going to say this, everybody who knows that follows my AP poll knows I care deeply about road games and think that really reveals a lot about a team. Kansas, Auburn, 2 teams that played their first road games this week, both went down. I mean, almost everybody loses one of their first 2.
So with Kansas losing, this must mean Duke is #1 in your poll.
Duke's not in the poll, and Kansas still is going to be #1, but you got to play the games.
Wait, they lost and they're still #1?
Still #1. Who should
Kansas
be #1?
Can move from out of the poll to #1 by losing.
Their overall resume is still the best, and now it's better that they've actually gone on the road, and we've seen what they're on the road. Things didn't go well. They blew a 12-point lead. That happens on the road. But I think it was one of those games, first road game, everybody's praising Kansas all year. You see why it's different than, I mean, there's no place else where momentum swings are so hard to hold on to.
You realize your AP vote makes no sense, right?
You may think that.
It makes no sense.
I'm a hero in Buffalo. That's all I know.
Team of the week, Rico Beard.
Team of the week, I never thought in my wildest dreams I would say the team of the week, the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
3rd straight victory. I mean, we laughed because they had that ridiculous scenario. You know, Cleveland can still make the playoffs. They were like the Lions, like, yeah, right. No, Cleveland, I mean, after beating Cincinnati today 26-18, 7-7-1, they got a shot. I mean, they're entertaining to watch. They're fun. They're everything that the Lions are not, plus they got a young quarterback. The Cleveland are like maybe 3 players away from, I think, doing what Seattle did with a young quarterback, build that defense. You got a 4-year window, see what happens. But the Cleveland Browns, folks, the mistake by the lake, they're back.
And when you can build from the bottom, it's a lot easier than building from the middle like the Lions keep trying to do, because you don't have that quarterback salary holding you down.
Yep. You see Baker Mayfield again with Hugh Jackson? But the guy doesn't even exist. You're not even worth my time.
Yep.
All right. Player of the week, and we have so many choices here this week. How about Jalen Smith? Remember when Jalen Smith was going to be the guy that wasted his career? How about this play? He's got a 69-yard scoop and score, and he looks pretty fast there. He was telling everybody afterward that he's a 4-time state champion in Indiana and probably should be a running back, but Ezekiel Elliott wasn't agreeing with that, so congratulations to him. But our player of the week is Aaron Rodgers. And not because it was his 100th win as a starter. Here you see the game-winning touchdown in overtime, a strike to Devontae Adams. And not because he threw for 442 yards and 2 touchdowns, not because he led his team in a big comeback, or that he ran for 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, the first time that he'd been in the end zone since 2016. It's because after the game, when they asked him, why were you playing? Why'd you come back in when you got dinged? He said, because I'm not a quitter. He said, I want to teach these guys what it's like. So that's another approach to it. Want to thank Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, on his way to the Red Box Bowl. Rico Beard, you can hear him on Spartan Beat every weekday. Likewise, Doug Warren, Lions Today. And we will be back with you next Sunday after the Michigan Bowl game, before the Michigan State game. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a great week.